sunny day. I'm so happy that we have a few guests out here. And believe me, I actually went to the extent of checking with Eskom that there's no load shedding taking place today because we are having a very important lecture. All right. And if you notice, we've got Nick and we've got Yuri and we've got Romano. Right. Great to see them. Right. Welcome, Nick, Yuri. You want to say something to my students? You can unmute yourself.
Morning, everybody. Nice to be here with you this morning and to spend some time. I'm glad it's sunny in Durban because in Joburg I'm sitting under my heater. It is freezing. So, yeah.
We have the best weather in the country, right?
I can see you've got short sleeves and everything.
Yes. I'm in the mountains. In fact, behind me, can you see that? I've got a lovely background there.
That's amazing.
Great. Okay, so the first question comes from Mr. Inkosi. What I've done is, Yuri and Nico, I've actually sent them the student guide on Saturday. And I think Mr. Inkosi was a bit busy, so he didn't get to read through the entire guide. And he wants to know about the Invigilator software. Now, just to let you know, my students, they are IT students. Well, not fully IT, they are taxation and they are accounting and auditing students. And this semester, they are doing a course in IT. So they know about websites, they know about apps, and tomorrow they're going to be writing a test for us in Moodle, and they have to use the software, right? So, Mr. Nkosi, do you want to unmute and ask your question about the Invigilator software?
Yes, thank you. No, I just, if they can give us a background, because it was a bit tricky for me, if you can explain it deeper.
Okay.
How it works.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so maybe just to get a go, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to encourage you to please work through your student guide. That document contains all of the information that you're going to need to prepare for tomorrow's assessment. So the Invigilator application is a mobile phone application that will be used during remote online assessments in order for universities and lecturers to maintain the academic integrity of their question papers and their modules. Now, it's very important for you as a student as well to ensure the academic integrity of your module, because if some scandal would break loose with regards to universities where lots of cheating is happening, then it's going to detract from the value and the stature of your qualification. And obviously, all of you are studying this qualification in order to be more employable and to find a good job and where you can start off your life in corporate, most probably. And for that to be happening, you need to be in possession of a qualification that is valuable and that means something and that is sought after in the job market. And that is why these tools are being introduced during the assessments to ensure that the exam integrity is maintained. So this cell phone-based application will do a number of things. So firstly, it will verify your identity, and that will do so to ensure that the correct person will be writing the assessment and that you don't have somebody that writes the assessment on your behalf. So as a university, DUT has to confirm that the correct person was in fact writing the assessment. So that's the first aim of the Invigilator application. Then secondly, the Invigilator application will ensure that you do not speak to somebody about your assessment. So during the test time, that you do not speak to somebody about the test. And questions that we often get is, but what happens if I'm writing my test in an environment where it's not quiet or where it's not conducive for writing an assessment? And I want to tell you straight out, guys, you don't have to worry about that. So even though speech will be detected in those examples, the moment that you're not speaking to somebody about the test, those flagged speech recordings are automatically disregarded. So it's just where you are speaking to somebody about the content of your test paper, where it will be problematic and where it could result in a problem for you. So don't worry about speech in the background. Don't worry if your mother comes in and brings you a cup of tea. It's not the end of the world. It will not be flagged as suspicious. So don't stress about that. Then also, if it is a scan and upload paper, you will be expected to take a photo of each page of your answer script at the end of the assessment. And this serves a dual purpose. So firstly, it ensures that students do not continue writing or abusing the scan and upload time. So once again, if you are an honest student and you stuck to your time, it's just fair that everybody else also does that, so that people do not get an unfair advantage because they abuse the scan and upload time. So that's the first benefit of the script upload at the end, but also it serves as a secondary backup and as a secondary submission of your question paper, so that should something go wrong with your submission on Moodle, that there will be a secondary backup for your lecturers to refer to after the assessment. So it immediately assists and it alleviates any problems that you might have. So for example, if there's load shedding and you battle to upload your script onto Moodle, then we do have that as a backup submission as well that your lecturers will be able to use for marking purposes. So in a nutshell, the application does not take a lot of time. So you will be expected to take roughly 4 photos during the course of your entire assessment. So you'll be requested to take most probably 2 selfies. You'll be expected to take a photo of your student card or ID document, and there might be a 4th photo of your exam script during the course of the assessment. So that is really all that's going to be expected of you. You put your phone down next to you, ladies and gentlemen, and you will be prompted. There will be a sound that plays once you've got to take a photo. You literally pick up your phone from your desk, you take a selfie, you put it back down. It does not even take 10 seconds to do. So it doesn't take a lot of time. It will not distract you. It's really not invasive. It's easy to use. So guys, there's really nothing to worry about. The last thing I just want to, 2 more things that I want to just remind you of before we take the next questions. So the very important that you do not leave your application for the duration of the assessment. You must remain inside the application. So we just want to ensure that students do not communicate with somebody else via WhatsApp, and we can track when you've left the app. So make sure that you remain inside the application for the full duration. And then my last piece of advice before we move to the next question is, guys, please go and do the demo test. So we set up a demo test for you. Go and try it out this afternoon. You'll see it's a quick 8-minute test. It doesn't take a long time to do, and that'll just give you comfort about exactly what's going to happen tomorrow, and that you really don't have anything to stress about. So please go and do the demo test. You can do it multiple times as well. So you can scan that same QR code multiple times. So go and then actually practice using the app, and you'll see how very easy it is. Guys, then just one more thing that I just thought about before I'm going to hand over to Nick to see if he's got anything to add, is that do not leave it until 10 minutes before the test tomorrow to try and register. Please register today. Make sure that it's all set up. If you've got any technical issues, you can reach out to our technical help desk via WhatsApp, so you can WhatsApp them anytime. We've got people on duty from 7 till 7 every day that'll assist you with any technical query that you might have. So that's the last piece of advice. Nick, anything that I've left out or anything you'd like to add?
No, cool. Thanks, Yuri. Morning, everybody. Nice to join you guys this morning. I think just to add just to some of those points, I think one thing to note is both Yuri and I, who are 2 of the founders of the application, come from an academic background. So Yuri's a full-time lecturer. I worked with Yuri and Dewald at the University of Johannesburg when I was doing my academic articles, and now I still do some lecturing within UJ and for SAICA as well as Monash. So academia and academics is very close to all of our hearts. And the reason that we developed this application in the first place is that there was no solution for us to try and replicate that in-exam feel without using invasive technology. The only other technology that's out there right now is full proctoring, which has huge limitations and downside. It can be also considered as invasive technology. So what Yuri and I and the rest of the team have built is we've literally tried to build an application that just replicates the in-exam venue experience without eating into any of your exam time. And we are so excited that we've been able to take this application from idea to launching now to partnering with different universities like yourselves. And we also have firm believers that the technology is only as good as the support that we are able to give. So if you have any issues, there's a WhatsApp number or a number within your student guide that you can WhatsApp at any time or any day leading up to your examination. And you can request for immediate assistance, which our help desk then will be able to give you. So there is really no need why this application won't work. It's been designed to work on every entry-level smartphone. So it's had no problems. We've administered over 350,000 assessments with this application up until now. So we are more than ready to be handling your different examinations when you make use of the app. All the information, like Yuri said, is in your student guide. We put all the information there that you could ever need and more. But if you need further assistance, there is a WhatsApp help desk where you can just WhatsApp your query, and one of our help desk agents will be chatting to you within a matter of minutes with regards to any technical issues, with regards to any user issues. So yes, I think from our side, that's really it. And I think we're excited that you guys are going to be using it. We're going to be using the application tomorrow. I think in our sort of uncertain times with regards to COVID being around, it's a method that's being used by universities to make examinations safe. And like Yuri's saying, the importance of upholding the examination integrity so that the value of your degrees then are then kept into your employment stages post-university. So yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Prinavin. Over back to you. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Nick. Just to let you know that tomorrow's the test at 11 o'clock. And there's some hot tips. I hope my students don't listen to this. I'm going to be testing them on audit command language. What are the features of this program and how do we use it? And oops, I think my students are on. I better keep quiet, Nick. Ooh, I'm not going to tell them anything more, right? Short little test. Tomorrow, students, it's MCQ test and it's true and false questions. And the most important objective is whether we can incorporate the Invigilator software with our Moodle LMS. All right. And I promise the students, all those who attended today's lecture are getting 5% towards their course mark. And tomorrow's test, I know you've already done the ACL certification. You don't have to study for it. If you did the ACL certification, it's so easy. But most importantly, I want you, just like Nick has mentioned and Yuri, that you need to download the software. All right. I can see a hand up. There's a question from one of my students. Please unmute and ask the question.
Morning. Oh, afternoon, sorry. I've created an account and then I logged in. How do you do the demo test? Because when I logged in and verified everything, and it shows me a screen where there's start assessment. I want to do the demo test. I don't have the OQ code. When I say start, and it just wants the OQ code. How do I do the demo test? Like, I'm confused.
So the QR code will be in your student guide that was distributed by Prinavin too. So if you open up that student guide, the demo code will be there, and you can just scan that QR code, and then it will kick off your 8-minute examination, your demo examination.
Nick, I can quickly show.
Okay. Thank you.
Yuri will quickly show you. Yeah, you'll just show you quickly.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing it. Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Right, so you will see, if I quickly just show you the student user guide, I'm just waiting for my screen to share. You will see there in your table of contents, you will see on page 8, there's a demo test. So if you scroll down all the way to page 8, there is the demo QR code that you've got to scan. So you've either got to scan this code or you can type in that QR access code. You can type that QR access code in, but either of the two will then start the 8-minute demo test for you to see what the invigilation will entail.
Yay, thank you for that question. Please ask another question. We're so lucky we actually have the developers and the guys in charge of it. Wow, there's a question there. Go ahead. Unmute.
Afternoon, sir. I heard Mr. Jury talking about not leaving the app while you're doing the assessment. So my question is, in the case whereby you are kicked out by network issues, is it able to detect such instances? Because some of us are living in rural areas, and sometimes when you're doing the assessment on Moodle or wherever, like in Teams, sometimes the network just kicks you out. So are there any measures taken in detecting that you are kicked out by network so that you're not penalized for something you didn't do?
Good question.
I think that's a very good question. So one of the ways that Yuri, myself, and the other two developers, other two founders within the application have built this is that the application doesn't need to run on internet for the duration of the assessment. So the only time that you need an internet connection or network connection is when you are logging into the application. So when you are initially starting the assessment, so you log in with your user details, scan the QR code, that application now doesn't require internet to run. Should there be any network issues now towards the end of your assessment or after the assessment has concluded, that data will be saved in your phone, encrypted, and then uploaded to our server then once there's internet or once there's data back on your phone. So there really shouldn't be a case where there are network issues with regards to dropping of signal, with regards to dropping of electricity, with regards to dropping of Wi-Fi connections. As long as you are logged in first, that's all the application requires. If you have any issues with logging in and starting your assessment, then you just contact our help desk, which will then point you in the right direction of what to do in terms of fixing the problem.
Great. Thank you for that question, Mr. Nkosi.
All right, thank you, sir.
No problem at all.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. My question is, do you have to do it on the phone device only, or can you do it on your laptop?
No, so the application has been built to run off a smartphone. So because not everyone has access to a laptop in South Africa, it's the reason that we've built the application to just be used on a phone. So any entry-level smartphone you can use. So you're more than welcome to write your assessment on your laptop, but you'll just scan the QR code on your smartphone and just leave that next to your laptop while doing the assessment. We do have a backup web version, but it's only a backup if your phone cannot work for whatever reason. But the whole application has been built in a way to work properly off an entry-level smartphone. So we do everything that we can to make sure that you're able to write using your phone. If there is a last-minute emergency, we do have a backup web version, but that we do not want to use as first priority. We'd like you all to utilize your cell phone.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Nkosi. Mr. Naya, welcome, Mr. Naya. Please ask a question as the class rep. Mr. Naya, unmute. Mr. Kumalo, my other class rep, are you here?
Yes,
Yes.
okay. I just have a minor question. I tried logging in and doing registering and all that stuff. But my question is, what if the camera is bad and it's failed to take some pictures in? I'm not sure. I tried it, and sometimes it gave me like a resolution problem. It didn't take a clear picture of my notebook. I'm not sure if there's a backup there if you experience that problem.
Yeah, so the application in terms of I'm assuming you're talking about the script upload pictures there. So taking a picture of your physical script paper. So all that means is that your camera, your script hasn't been in the full page in terms of your photo that you're taking. So you'll see there are little templates built around that specific photo you need to capture of the script. So you must just make sure that that script is within those different templates so that the camera then picks up the full script. So the application will keep kicking that photo out until you take the picture correctly, because you must remember your lecturers will essentially need to use those pictures to mark or to reconcile your uploads with the LMS. So it has to be a clear picture and it has to not be blurry. So that would be the reason that the application is telling you to please take that picture again. So you must just make sure that the whole picture of the script fits within your camera, within those different templates that are there on that specific photo capture sheet. And then you capture the picture as a clear image. It will then allow you to proceed to the next page and then upload all your data.
But guys, if I understand correct from your lecturer, for tomorrow that will not be a problem because tomorrow's assessment will be 100% online on Moodle. So for tomorrow's assessment, you won't be expected to take photos of your answer sheets because it's not a write out by hand assessment paper.
Yes. Yes. Great. Any more questions? You can type in the chat, Mr. Nai, if you're having issues with your mic. Come on. We've got the developers here. And we are making history. I got to mention this to you, Nick. Nobody else at DUT has used the software before. We are the very first. We are making history and recording this, and this is going to be on YouTube as well. The DUT students, the IT5 accounting and auditing and tax students are using the software for the very first time. So come on, students, put your camera on. We're going to be famous. We're going to be on YouTube movie. Come on. Some of my
I've got another question.
Yes, yes.
I just wanted to ask, you said that when you're discussing the paper, the assessment, it can detect that, okay? What if you are discussing what if you're discussing in Zulu or Afrikaans or any other language? Can it also detect?
Yes, it detects speech. Doesn't matter what language.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, so we can hear you. Yeah, so the application detects all speech. It doesn't matter what language, as long as it's a human voice speaking, it picks it up and it records it.
Good question. Put your video on. Let's see how you look. We did mention the last time you're going to put makeup on. I'm not sure if you are. Hi. Oh, I don't think she has makeup on. That's why she's not putting her video on. Any more questions, my dear students? Because I don't want to keep our important guests for the entire duration. Plus, I also have to go over some lecture notes tomorrow's guest. I don't want them to hear it, right? Students, come up. Do you have another question? I see Mr. Nair is on hold. Is he also attending another lecture, answering another call during my time? Nick, Yuri, would you be able to tell me by the end of this afternoon whether my students have done the demo test or not?
Yes, well, I can tell you, Dr. Governor, that at the moment we've got 7 registrations, so I've just checked it out.
I know what we'll do, Yuri. You tell me who those 7 people are, and I will give them a mark of 5% towards the course mark today. I promise you. Right? You just tell me who they are. If you want to share your screen and you show it to me, that means 1/3 of my class has registered with the software.
I will send you a mail with all of their details.
Beautiful, great, and I'll copy my students as well on that. Right?
All right.
By the way, my students only work for marks. Huh? That's how my students are. So right, they're going to do that today. Yes. Anybody else? Anyone else with a question? Okay, so if 7 students did it, I can tell you by the afternoon, the rest of my class is going to have it. Right? There may be 1 or 2 that will do it tomorrow morning. I know how they are. And all of them will read the study guide that you have provided for them for the Invigilator. Class, any more questions? Because I'd like to end our little discussion. Quickly, going once, going twice, going. No, nobody posts in the chat. There's the WhatsApp number 073-505-8273. I also sent it to you, and I hope you stored it in your phone. Okay, great. I don't see any more questions, Yuri and Nick. Romano, thank you very much for answering my students' questions. Thank you very much for affording us the opportunity to make history. That's what I'm doing over here. All my students, we're making history. We're the very first batch of students to ever use your software at Durban University of Technology. All right? So tomorrow, 11 o'clock, they're going to be auditing the test. That's the ACL test, right? I don't know if you heard of that, Nick, Yuri. It's called Audit Command Language. It's
no, I haven't.
Oh, there we go. Right. So tomorrow the students are going to be writing that test. They've already done the certification, and it's a simple test, all multiple choice questions, true and false. It's going to be between 20 and 25 minutes. And if they know their work, they'll finish it off much faster than that. But more importantly, if they don't use the Invigilator software, then I'm not going to mark the test, right? So that's the criteria, it's prerequisite, because I want to test the reliability and validity of them using this software and writing the test. Okay?
Fantastic.
Okay, my students, Wave, say goodbye to Nick. We do our goodbyes at the end of it all, right? Goodbye, Nick.
Bye.
Cheers,
Goodbye,
guys.
Goodbye.
Nice chatting. Good luck for the test tomorrow.
Good
Do your
luck.
best. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you so
Only Nick
much.
and you can leave. Okay, thank you. Right, I'm going to stop the recording now, but I will continue with our lecture. All right.